Appearance on Dion's Daily Dose does not imply endorsement from or by any candidate or guest. The views, thoughts, and opinions expressed by Dion Bergeron or Dion's Daily Dose are his own and do not represent the views, thoughts, and opinions of any guest. Material and information presented is for general information purposes only. The Dion's Daily Dose name in all forms and abbreviations are the property of its owners, and its use does not imply endorsement of or opposition to any specific organization, product, or service. If you'd like to support the show, please visit our Patreon at patreon.com/Dion's Daily Dose.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Dion's Daily Dose. Today is Tuesday, August 4th. I tripped myself up a little bit. So today I was going to do something a little bit different. Today I wanted to talk to you about why you should vote for me in November for state representative for District 9. You have a choice, right? You can vote Democrat, Republican, and that's all well and good, right? If you're already planning on voting one way or the other, it is what it is. But I think you should know a little about me so that you can make an informed decision. I think you should know why I believe that I'm the better candidate, the better choice to represent you in Indianapolis. First of all, my opponent has not had a private sector job in over 20 years. They have been an elected official, a career politician, if you will. Jack, good to see you. Thanks for joining us. I was a truck driver. I've traveled the nation. I was a correctional officer. I worked at Indiana State Prison. I have a family. I have sent and continue to send my children to public school in the area. I believe in our public education system. I believe it also needs help from us. I am reasonable. I don't mind listening to others' point of views. I don't shut them out. I don't scream them down. I don't tune them out. I listen to what they have to say. And I try to present factual information when my opinion differs from theirs. I'm also willing to look at both sides of an argument. I think that's something that's vastly missing, incredibly missing for many of our elected officials. They get this tunnel vision, right? Cognitive dissonance, confirmation bias. There are tons of terms that we can refer to, but it basically comes down to people not willing to listen to the other side, not willing to have that discussion instead of an argument, instead of name calling. Like I said, I was a truck driver. I've held a real job. I've dealt with the ins and outs of the correctional system, the court system, the child support system, family law. I have custody of my children. I've dealt with that. These are all things that I believe will translate well to representing you in Indianapolis. I can go into qualifications for this and political experience for that, but really, what is the job? What is the job of a representative, a state rep that goes to Indianapolis and votes supposedly in your interest? Well, I would say first and foremost, before you can be chief of the tribe, you need to be a member of the tribe. It is really important, I believe, that if you're going to be, let's say, head of the HOA, you need to understand the rules of the HOA. You need to be a member of the HOA. It's like these people that let's take a for example, right? I'm not going to use anyone's name, but a representative who doesn't live in their district, who represents, let's say, let's look at part like 9th Street, right? West 9th Street in Michigan City. They represent West 9th, but they live in Ballantyne Court or Potawatomi Park. It's kind of hard to understand the issues that the people who live on West 9th Street have when you live in Potawatomi Park. There's nothing wrong with living in Potawatomi Park. I'm sure that you'll represent the people who live in Potawatomi Park just fine. Less so the people that live on West 9th Street. And that's just an example. I'm not trying to single anyone out. I live not right next to Trail Creek, heart of Michigan City. To me, thank you, Jack. I appreciate that. Jack put, true, you're one of the most open-minded persons I know, willing to listen to all facts and viewpoints. And I think that's real. I do. It's not talked about often enough, and it's certainly not put forward often enough. I've put things out that I was mistaken on, and when I find out, I put, oops, right? But I try never to delete social media posts, for example, unless I have accidentally, I don't do it on purpose, but accidentally put out something that is just blatantly false or biased. If that's the case, then I will get rid of it when pointed out. But I have put out things in the past that were incorrect or misleading. With a follow-up to that, I'll add a comment and be like, okay, so here's what I thought when I read it, and here's why I didn't delete it. That's the other thing. For those of you, who run around deleting, not you, but those politicians that run around deleting, they'll put something up and be like, oh, got caught, delete it, right? The internet is forever. The flashback machine, the Wayback Machine, it holds on to that stuff forever. It'll be there, and it can easily be brought up. We've caught several politicians putting things out and then deleting them, thinking that they go away. It never goes away. I stand by the things I say, and I also am willing to be held accountable. If I say something that proves to be false, I apologize. I don't know that many politicians that do that. And I'm going to say this. I don't consider myself a politician. If running for an office automatically makes you a politician, then I guess that's what I am. I'd like to think I'm a little bit above that, though. I want to represent the entirety of my district. Everyone from Pine Tree Court, West 9th Street, to Potawatomi Park, Michiana Shores, Chesterton, South County. These are all incredibly important. Everyone deserves to have their voice heard. And I know it's impossible to represent every single person equally, because then you're going back and forth on votes and stuff like that. But I'd like to believe that I will listen to the majority of my constituents, because I think that's what's missing. The other thing that I think compelling reason to vote for me is that I'm as transparent as they come. I have hours and hours and hours of video out there for you to review. Get to know me. I've introduced you to my family. I've told you about my life. We're going to get more in depth on that. I know some of it may be a little, more information than some people want to know, and that's okay. That's why I titled this one the way it is. Why vote for Dion? Why should you vote for Dion in November? When you go in there, you're going to have your choice between the incumbent, again, who hasn't held a private sector job in over 20 years, has been a career politician now, and also has accomplished nothing in that office, has not successfully passed any compelling legislation, has not improved the district, has not gotten any quality careers to the area. These are all things that I'd like to focus on. I also want to be accessible to you. Anyone who has contacted me on my social media knows that I respond very quickly, and that will continue. I am not a politician. I am certainly not a career politician. And I want people to understand, those of you that are watching this, I am a regular American dad, husband, father of teenagers. My struggles are the same as your struggles. Your struggles are the same as mine. I understand the issues that everyone is encountering right now. with sending their children back to school. I've talked about this before. We are dealing with that right now. Um, Michigan City has gone completely virtual for the first semester. LaPorte is still figuring it out. They have not officially announced, but the plan is something else. That's it's difficult. It's difficult as a parent. It's difficult for the teachers and administrators. There's more information on that'll be coming up in some of my other lives, but I am always available to answer any questions. If there are particular questions that you want to know the answers for, if they're not listed on my website, if they're not listed in my social media posts, by all means, contact me. Hit me up on social media. Get Messenger, Twitter. Twitter, a little bit less reliable to me. For some reason, my notifications aren't working properly when someone tries to contact me on Twitter, but Facebook Messenger, I respond as soon as possible. Dave, that's a good point too. Dave says my finger thinks before the brain kicks in. Now, here's what I do, and I've had to learn this, right? Because there have been times when I have seen someone post something or say something or reply to something. I will type my answer out, right? Before I hit that send button, there are two things that I make sure that I do. Number one, I go back and I read the entirety of it to make sure, yes, this is what I want to say. And then I go back and I read it again for grammatical and spelling errors. Now, sometimes if it's just a quick post, I have had a misspelling that I had to go back and correct. Stupid autocorrect, right? But that has, I think, done a pretty good job at keeping me from putting out too incredibly controversial things. But the other thing that I want to tell you, I believe, is an excellent reason to vote for me is because I'm going to tell you the truth. I'm going to lay it out the way that it really is. And sometimes I don't come up with a polished answer. I just tell you the truth. I tell you what I believe, what I think. I'm going to tell you. There are times when that's not going to line up with what you may believe, and that's okay. That's all right. But I will tell you that if you have what you believe is compelling evidence as to why I should listen to you, why my opinion should change, I'm more than willing to listen to it. I try to review both sides of an argument as well. There's so much going on right now, right? With COVID and masking and all this stuff. I try to look at the entirety of the evidence. And that's difficult at times. It really is. But I think it's something that we need to see more of. And I also believe that the way forward for District 9 is to elect someone who is going to be able to get things done in the state house. Now we can look at, there's a Republican supermajority, so it doesn't matter if a Democrat gets elected, they're not going to get anything done anyway because the Republicans are just against it. I want to show you something, and I'm going to tell you what I was told. Now, I don't have a personal way to verify this, but I can tell you what I was told. Let me see if I can pull this up real quick. Give me just one moment. I'm going to show you some. Actually, we're going to do that another time because it'll take me too long, and people have stuff to do. I'm going to give a full listing of the way that my opponent has voted and the bills that they voted for and against, and I'm going to show you the way that I would have voted. We're going to do that probably this week. I do have a interview that I'm doing with someone who asked me tomorrow, so I may not have a show. We're figuring out the time right now. Last night, the reason I did not have a video is I actually was invited to the Hobart Republican Party meeting, and I went there and I talked to them, and they had a really good meeting. I was able to meet many of the people that are involved with the Republican Party in Hobart, and there are a number of people that are actually changing their party affiliation in Hobart from Democrat to Republican. And this is happening because of the far left movement of the Democrat Party. This is what they've said, not what I say. The Democrat Party has gone too far off the deep end for them and no longer even represent close to the values that they hold. We're seeing this a lot, and this is one of the things that I had talked about in the past. Is we're seeing the what people considered the Democrat Party of our forefathers, right? That allegedly was for the working class and for the common man. It's gone incredibly far left. It has become radicalized, and that's unfortunate. But it does make a lot of people begin to wake up and to see the reality that it's been that way for quite a while. They just, excuse me, they just hit it better than they do now, right? So the one thing that I would say, and this applies to any office, not just mine, but any office. Look at the person, look at the individual, look at the things they say, the things they believe in, and the kind of person that they are. Person, and I know, trust me, I know it is so hard to tell how people actually are versus the way that they act, right? There are many people that get on TV and put out posts or media or whatever, and you think, wow, that's a good person, or they believe the way I do. But yet, when you truly get to know them, they're not that way at all. They're going or putting out things that they think will get them elected. This is one reason why I try to do these videos every single night. I do miss some days, and for that, sorry, I'm doing my best. But this way you can get to know the kind of person that I really am. Not just the persona that I put out there for, election purposes, or that is like, hey, this is me. I agree with this, but the person that I really am, the dad, the husband, the regular guy, because I really am a regular guy. When I was, as a matter of fact, when I was in my 20s, I had a 1978 white Camaro, and on the back window of the Camaro, I had vinyl made that said "typical male," right? Because that's how I felt. Regular Joe, right? I was a trucker. I was a regular dude. That hasn't changed. And I don't think that's a bad thing. I don't think that's a bad thing at all. I think we need more of that. I think if we had more regular Joes, more typical male, female, whatever, more typical Americans in office around the country, I don't think we'd be in the situation that we're in right now. We're getting some movement on that, though, ladies and gentlemen. We're starting to claw it back, because around this country, patriots, men and women, are waking up and stepping up and saying, this is enough. This is enough. It's time that all of us do what we can to secure the future of this country for our children and our grandchildren. Because this election is much more than a regular 2-year, 4-year election. It really is for the fabric of what this country is going to be in the future. I have my issues with certain elected officials. I don't agree with everything they say and do, but I do not see a logical alternative. I just don't. I cannot vote for Joe Biden. I'm gonna put that out there. I cannot vote for Joe Biden. I believe that he truly has dementia. If not dementia, perhaps early onset Alzheimer's. There's definitely something going on there. And the reality of the situation is Biden will not be the one running the country. Whoever his handlers are, whoever the people that are in charge of what he says and does, those are going to be the people running the country. And it's the same old, it's the same people that have been in charge during Obama's terms, George Bush's, both of them, Clinton. It's the same mindset, the same mentality that has gotten us where we are. So I think it's time up and down the ballot for us to step forward, learn who's running, who is that person really. And that's one of the good things I think about the results, the things that have had to happen because of the pandemic. There's nothing good about the pandemic, but one of the results of it was you get an opportunity to spend far more time with other candidates online, learning who they are, what they're about. Not everyone can make it to meet and greets, right? Not everyone can come out to this fundraiser, this meet and greet, and have an opportunity to talk to them. But I think we can all tune in for just a moment, listen to what someone has to say. You can come back to it whenever you want. Meet and greets are just there, right? So you do have other questions that you want the answers to. If you want to know a particular stance, if you want to know all of that, it's on my website. Visit dionbergeron.com. If you can't find the answer to your question there, don't hesitate to reach out on social media. You can message my campaign, at Dion for Indiana, and you can message me directly on Facebook, Dion Bergeron. You can also email me, talk@dionbergeron.com. And look, if you want to come on to the show, this whatever live stream, whatever you want to call it, Dion's Daily Dose, my brand. If you want to come on and you want to have a face-to-face, real-time discussion, put me on the spot, ask me some questions, I'm perfectly okay with that. This is how we figure out who people are. And I am far from perfect, ladies and gentlemen. I am not, I don't pretend to be perfect in any way, but I will tell you, I am about as real as it comes. I'm not going to mince words. I'm going to tell you what it is and how it is. And I'll tell you, I really do. I look forward to representing you in Indianapolis and standing up for the core American values. I believe in the American dream still. I know it's becoming more fleeting, right? But I believe that we should put Americans first. I believe that that's where the Democrat Party has lost many, many people. I know, like I said, there are people in Hobart that are changing. If you look up Vernon Jones from Georgia, he's of the same mindset. There are a number of elected officials across the country that are changing parties, and it's because the Democrat Party, I believe, has kind of finally pulled the veil back and shown who they really are. So without further ado, thank you very much for joining me tonight. And again, if you have any questions at all, don't hesitate to get in touch. I'll summarize with this. Do you want a career politician who is going to give you empty promises and tell you they're going to accomplish things when they haven't? They've had 2 years, they've done nothing. Or do you want to give it a shot? Give someone new a chance, give someone who will at least talk to you on a nightly basis, tell you how it is, what they're up to. I plan on continuing the same thing at the State House. Tell you what's on the agenda, explain it to you. What do you think, right? What do we have to lose, ladies and gentlemen? What do we have to lose? So thank you very much for joining me. See you again soon. God bless you. God bless Indiana. And God bless the US of A.
If you'd like to support the show, please visit our Patreon at patreon.com/Dion's Daily Dose. This has been Dion's Daily Dose, hosted by Dion Bergeron. Executive producers Sean Holgram and Michael Beebe. Copyright 2020. Dion's Daily Dose, all rights reserved.